So how do you deal with your mental health? When you have you said you were anxious,
Yeah.
you get triggered. How do you, when you were there? I'll tell you why. I'll place it in perspective. You lead a privileged life here.
Yes.
You were in the Ambani school.
Yes.
Obviously, you come from a fairly economically set background that you can go to US and
Yes.
study there.
Yes.
So and then suddenly you come to the ground realities, like you have to wash your own clothes, you have to go for auditions, plus you have to earn your money. So how do you sort of deal with all that?
So I think I really embraced the lifestyle that I had in the US, at least, because doing everything yourself, your own laundry, your own clothes, your own auditions, figuring out your life, it helped me grow up. You can be very sheltered in India, especially living with parents.
And you must have been barely 21 or something.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. And I loved it.
What did you study?
I studied theatre. So my degree is in theatre. I love that freedom. And I love digging deep and doing whatever I want. And I realized when I come back that I have to adopt this grown-up attitude to life in general. So when I came back, I said, look, I said I'm starting from ground zero. Now, there is no thing that is beneath you when you are building a brand for yourself, when you're building a career. You cannot say like, ye main nahi karunga, wo main nahi karunga, whatever. I worked as an extra in the US as well. I was on a couple of sets with Seth Rogen Productions and Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and there was a show called Crashing.
You should talk about Crashing.
Yeah, so it was. I honestly, for me, it was like
it's got Jonathan Bailey, no?
I believe so.
Oh, you haven't seen Crashing?
I have not seen Crashing. I was simply worked on it.
Okay, because we stalked Jonathan Bailey post Travelers and all of that. Yeah. And Bridgerton.
Yeah.
So I and Phoebe Waller-Bridge, of course, post Fleabag.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's talk about that.
So literally, I with my visa status in the US, I could only work on certain things, and of course, nobody was giving me an ABC pilot first off the thing. When I'm in college, so I said, how do I earn? So I worked part time at the college as a resident assistant, but I also worked as a background artist. And basically, you go to this thing called central casting, where you go in and it's like a full bunch of people sitting there. You give your headshots and you give your information and you submit it, and then you get text messages कि ये project है, आप available है कि नहीं? And you say yes, and they send you great, report to this location at this time. So you come in with your sheet, your time sheet, and you give your time sheet. And I was non-union. There's union and non-union. तो उसमें भी चलता था कि the non-union guys want to be union, and the union guys were in different places. They were sat differently. They had different food. They had lobster and all that. I was like, एक दिन मैं union बनूंगा. And basically, if the production gives you a line, let's say you're a background artist and you're standing there, then they want someone to say something. Then they give you a line. And then you can use that line as a credit to build up your union status. And then you can finally apply to become union. I was waiting. I was saying like, कोई मुझे एक line दे दे, line दे दे, line दे दे. But it was really fun. It was very organized. You come in, you clock in, and you leave. It was a very blue collar job in a way. Not saying I'm anywhere close to that, but the job nature in itself. And you go, and I was on multiple sets, and I really got an understanding of how it is really behind the scenes, and how everyone is important, and everyone needs to feel fulfilled in whatever they do.
So what was the nature of your job? Acting or just goofing as in a gopher?
Literally just I had to act as a background artist, as an extra. So for example, if there's a set and there was a Seth Rogen show, and if there's the lead actors on set doing something, then we'd be in the back cheering. So they'd be like 2, 3, cheer, and you keep cheer and you cheer. In Crashing, for example, they had me walk on a street. So all the pedestrians you see on the street, right, when the lead characters are doing a walk and talk, वो साइड में कौन है? वो मैं था. So I was just walking ahead, so they'd be like, okay, background action, then you go.
So what are your experiences? Do the lead actors talk to you? Or
No,
they don't talk to you.
And in fact, they were told you can't talk to them, because if you talk to them, then you have a chance of getting fired. So literally, Seth Rogen was right in front of me, and we were at the craft table, and I'm just sitting there looking at him, and he was going to grab an apple or something, and I was just looking at him, and I was like, don't talk to me. Don't say anything. Don't say I'm from India. I really love you. Just stand there, do your job, and leave.